WHGE 95.3 FM. Coming up, the Open Eye. All right. Ready to get them started. All right. Here we go. Yep, we right here. Okay.
Those of us that indulge in or commit intellectual violence don't do so for the pleasure of mental masturbation or ego diddling. We do so because the chains of oppression on our people's minds are deep and difficult to remove.
Good morning, my children of the sun. Welcome to the Open Eye on WHGE 95.3 FM, the education advocacy station. Yes, indeed. Education is a key word around here. You tune into the Open Eye, you're going to learn something. My name is Patrice Gibbs, your host and third eye optometrist, ready to get them started. But before I do, let me just make this happen right now. Get this disclaimer out the way, okay?
The views and opinions expressed on the Open Eye are those of the hosts, guests, and contributors, and do not reflect the policy or position of WHGE 95.3 FM, nor our sponsor, the Delaware Center for Homeless Vets. Any content provided by Open Eye's hosts, guests, or contributors are theirs and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, company, or individual.
WHGE 95.3 FM. Let's get them started. I had a discussion earlier this week with a very good friend of mine, and I asked him the question. What did he think of the Black and Brown coalition? Meaning the coalition to fight white supremacy, with the coalition between Hispanic or Latino people and Black people. He told me it does not exist. It does not exist. Yeah, of course we have allies. We have allies in Hispanic community. We have allies in the white community, the Asian community, and what have you. And of course we have allies within the Latino community who identify Afro-Latino. And if anyone can tell you about the non-existence of the Black-Brown coalition, Afro-Latinos who are honest about it, and a lot of them are, will break that down. Okay, I can't remember the Spanish term, but there was a term amongst Latinos who identify more with their European ancestry than they do with their African ancestry. And the saying is lighten or whiten the race. And what that means is if you're a brown Latino, do not, under any circumstances, date, marry, or reproduce with anyone but a lighter Latino. Okay? And this has been a practice in Latin America, South America, since the discovery of the New World. Because let's remember, the reason that those in South America and Latin America speak Spanish is because they were colonized by the European Spaniards. Don't get that mixed. Yes, some Europeans have African blood, African heritage, and are dark or brown because of their interaction with the Moors. Okay? But don't get it mixed. These are white people. Don't get that mixed. And they're white supremacists. Spain was one of the worst participants in the slave trade of all the Europeans. And if you need evidence of the lack of what's the word? I just had a brain for it, of the lack of joining together between blacks and Hispanics here in the U.S. There are plenty of examples. Probably the most glaring example is the LA City Council and Hispanic members on the LA City Council who, sat up in a secret meeting and made the most disparaging remarks about black people since they thought no one was listening, and this is how they really felt. And I'll tell you something else about, especially in California. That you have Mexican Americans, Chicanos, and what have you, that have declared war on African Americans, pushing them out of neighborhoods, murder, this, that, and the other. And I can't remember his name, but one of the people that was caught up in that recording from the Latinos that were on the LA City Council, he refused to resign. The president, she went in and ran off and she resigned. He refused to resign. As a matter of fact, when confronted by black activists, he became violent. Don't get that mixed. Okay, and when the call was being made for his removal, a group of Latinos in their support of him chanted "All Lives Matter" right in the city council building. So don't get it mixed. There is no code. You know what? And this is something else I want to tell you. And I've said it time and time again. All right? Be careful about who you join forces with. Be careful about those who tan well and want to cry brotherhood with black people when it's convenient for them. Let us not be shy in reminding them that it was the civil rights movement that opened doors for them, that opened immigration policies for them. I don't give a damn about the DREAM Act, because many of those brown Latinos come in, and what do? Side with white supremacy immediately, or as soon as they get on their feet. All right? This is Open Eye, WHGE 95.3 FM. Hey, Tracy, I see you there, sister. Brother Judea, see you there. All right.
Yeah. All right. Let's take a moment. Right here.
WHGE 95.3 FM. I saw a Arabic ally who was asked, you know, why do you ally and support black causes here? Because, you know, we came over here in the 60s and maybe a little earlier, but the 60s. And, you know, seeing other groups come, you know, this is what this person was asking our Arab ally. Saw other groups come in, Italians and Jewish people from Eastern Europe and what have you. And they were able to pull themselves up by the bootstrap. After a couple of generations, they were able to progress. Why haven't black people? I mean, this is their own fault. They have examples, and you know, the model minority being Asians. White supremacists always point to Asians, and they, you know, they came in. They came in with nothing, and they built and they worked hard and what have you. And you know, black people didn't. That was their own fault. They're lazy. And then somehow we became lazy when we didn't want to work for free anymore and go to hell. And what this Arab ally did was she produced a list that explained what took place that blocked black people from advancing. Chattel slavery to begin with. Jim Crow. Black codes. Black codes. Many of us don't know about the black codes because they weren't always written laws. Excuse me. You know, sometimes they were just cultural practices that you as a black person knew not to violate because it could cost you your life. One of the most, I think, egregious practices, many of you may not have heard this, that was in many southern cities along the streets, and this probably lasted up into the 60s, were laughing barrels. You ever heard of a laughing barrel? You know what that is? You know what that is? It was a barrel that was on the street corner throughout, especially in downtown areas, where if you as a black person felt the need to laugh, you were to go stick your head in that barrel and laugh. So as not to give white people the impression that you were laughing at them. Because this could get you killed. Black codes. The list goes on. White domestic terrorism. Racial massacres. Anytime that black people advanced, built up our communities and what have you, it will cause jealousy amongst the poor white populace and fear amongst the white elites. And what they would do is set up so some black person was accused of, you know, touching a white woman or some crap. And then the whites would riot. Now, sometimes they didn't need a reason to riot. Just the fact that there were black people in their midst was enough to cause them to riot. And sometimes it was just for amusement. I saw this white girl on TikTok who asked, she asked that if invited to the picnic, would black people come? Because, you know, we often invite white people to the cookout. And a lot of black people responded, hell no. Because we know where the word picnic comes from. Now, of course, you Google it and it'll come up with some, you know, BS term that, you know, picnic comes from the French word pique, you know, BS. Picnic comes from pick a ninja. And that's to pick a ninja to hang burn and eat. Because cannibalism was a factor and a fact in white communities. The list goes on. Racial property seizures. Do you know how much land was stolen from our people? Do you know that in Oregon has the lowest population, I think, of any state of black people in the country? Why is that? Because Oregon is a whole goddamn sundown state. The whole goddamn state is a sundown state and was. They made it illegal, basically, for black people to even live there. And that ran through right up through the 60s. Property seizure. Medical experimentations. Oh, we've all heard of the Tuskegee Institute where black men, were black men who were discovered to have syphilis. They weren't infected with syphilis. They were discovered to have syphilis and tricked into not being treated. And this went on for 30 years. From the, 40 years maybe. From the 30s to the 40s. Got Nsoromma in the house setting us up. Gonna move that over there. Okay. That was not the only experimentation that took place. There were racial experimentations that took place before and after the Tuskegee experiment. Okay, there was the father of gynecology. I think his name was John Sims. They recently took down the statue, the monument commemorating this monster who practiced gynecology on black women, on black slave women, without any anesthesia. Can you imagine how horrific that was? And then there was the hospital in Philadelphia, where they were in the 70s. It's in my lifetime. Where they were experimenting on black people, black prisoners, what have you. The list goes on. Sharecropping. Sharecropping was nothing but slavery evolved. The same stuff that went on the sharecropping farm and plantation were the same things that went on the plantation during chattel slavery. Okay? I remember, and I told this story before, about 25 years ago now, this black man that was from Florida that used to catch the bus where I did when you went home from work. Okay? This black man would not speak to white people. Reason being, he grew up on a sharecropper farm in Florida, where the owners of the sharecropper, of the plantation, when the black men went out to work the fields, they would come and rape their women. Convict leasing. You know what convict leasing is? Immediately after, slavery, chattel slavery was ended after the Civil War. Okay? What they did was, since the 13th Amendment stated that slavery was abolished, except as a punishment for crime, they came up with all these laws that basically outlawed you being black, and they put you in prison, and now you're back on the you're back on the same damn plantation that you were freed from during the Civil War. The list goes on. We're going to take a little break here and check out what we got going on. WHGE 95.3 FM.
Yo, wagwan!
Wagwan, brother. Wagwan.
That's the mics, too. That's something like.
Yeah.
You got it too close.
That's all right. Yeah, stay funky now.
Cause they got them ran right. They ain't got the big brown.
There it is, brown.
Yeah, that brown list. Something. It's running over this.
We're dealing with a little buzz and static up in here. We're trying to figure it out, y'all. Jeez, all right.
So it's around there. Through wire.
All right, well, let's get it on.
We don't care.
Yeah.
Listen to the buzz.
That's where. Let's get it on. Well, welcome Nsoromma to the air.
Yeah, I got
Why, brother?
What up, Black? What's good?
Oh, brother, I'm going over this list.
I heard you on the way in, man. Yo, you said the Latins be on us too, huh?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's crazy,
Yeah.
yo.
Don't-
You said
don't-
he's ready to go fist to fist.
Oh, yeah.
He's ready to fight.
Oh, he did. He did. He covered up a brother.
The brother didn't slam him.
Yeah. Nah, the brother didn't slam him.
Oh, man.
He should have, but,
Yo, yeah.
you know.
That's what it be, man. I mean, when they put their hands on us, we need to snap.
We're going to get deeper in that in a minute. Yeah, that's
I
what
hate that static you say.
I know, man. It's just kind of messing with my head, too. That's what, but I want to get back to this list. All right. One of the things, the last thing I mentioned was convict leasing. The Homestead Act exclusions. Okay. This is something that Dr. King addressed, how the U.S. was willing to give European peasants an economic foundation by giving away millions of acres of land that black people were not allowed to participate possess. And of course, as you know, land is the basis of wealth.
Right.
And generational wealth. Because with land, you can borrow against the land, this, that, and the other. Another exclusion was the GI Bill after World War II. A lot of black soldiers and veterans were excluded from the GI Bill. So they didn't get the support to buy property, to educate, and what have you. Okay? FHA mortgage exclusions. Contract buying. Redlining. Urban renewal destroyed many well-to-do black communities. The war on drugs, and we know it, the war on drugs, Nixon's aides admitted that it was a war on black people. Don't get that mixed. Which, of course, after the war on drugs, we had mass incarceration. I was talking to someone yesterday about mass incarceration.
Right.
And Jim Crow Joe, who authored the 96 crime bill. The ongoing police terrorism. And we're going to end the list there because we could go on and on with that list.
And it's still happening today.
And it's still happening today.
At the same rate.
Right.
Or maybe worse.
Or maybe worse.
And that's what get under my ruffles my feathers.
Word.
You know?
So the hell with anybody that has the audacity and the ignorance to ask how come black people didn't pull themselves up by their own bootstraps, because it's a fallacy to ask someone without boots to pull themselves up by their own damn bootstraps. Get real.
And plus, they stole our boots.
Exactly.
They took them.
They took them. They took our boots.
That's crazy. I mean,
you know,
Martin say turn the other cheek. That's not the way anymore.
No. You know,
Eye for an eye.
Yeah, that's what we have. And like I said, remember, Martin's nonviolence was a tactic. Because in his heart, Martin many a time wanted to pop a cap up in somebody's ass.
Oh, I thought you was gonna go right.
You know, a lot of people are unaware that slavery was was less than 150 years ago.
Wow.
That's 2 grandmothers, which is no more than 3 generations. The transatlantic slave trade started in the 1400s, and slavery legally ended in 1865.
Did it legally end?
Legally, except as a punishment for crime, you know. And of course, it didn't actually end. It might have legally ended, but it evolved, like we always talk.
Yeah. So they say it ended, but then you free. But then you go out there and be free with nowhere to go. They lock you up for loitering.
Yes,
and
indeed.
then you're in the process all over again.
All over again.
It ain't called slavery; it's called prison.
Yeah. You know, a prison ain't nothing but a slave ship on land.
Wow.
That's what it is. You know, and that's over 400 years of social engineering, brainwashing, and terror that blacks have endured. This dysfunctional behavior has been passed down from generation to generation, and unfortunately, it's going to take more than 150 years to properly reverse this mindset. Black people have never received psychological therapy after they were legally free. They were just forced to get over it. How the hell do you get over that and move on? You can't move on, just move on.
Soldiers don't get past PTSD. Is that it?
That's word.
That's what every black person has.
That's word.
You know.
That's
crazy.
Yeah. And Dr. DeGruy teaches us that what we suffer from is post-traumatic slave disorder.
Wow.
And I'll tell you one of the main groups that display that disorder. And that's black mothers who are in fear of their sons suffering from doing too well. Isn't that interesting? She told the story how this black woman whose son was really excelling in school would downgrade that. You know, someone complimenting, oh, that boy, he's more trouble and this, that, and the other. He ain't doing all that well. Well, that's because she didn't want anyone to think that he was excelling, and she didn't want anyone to do anything to damage that progress. So her idea to protect him was to downplay his success. And that comes from the plantation, where if there was a black boy who was muscular and smart, his life was in danger. Or he was in danger of being really dogged out because he needed to be broken.
Yeah.
And that's order.
And that's another thing. It's like, you know, when we have the best of the best of the best, it's like we gotta downplay it so he won't be poisoned or you know, killed just because he excels past this other person. You know, and that's what goes on all the time. We have to downplay our own skills sometimes so we won't be looked at or fired because we know too much. I mean, it's messy how they set it up so bad that okay, you can be the best, but you can't act like you're the best. You know, and that's crazy.
You know, it made me think a couple of things. One, it made me think of Prince.
All right.
Okay.
Prince said.
Someone asked Prince if he was the greatest musician on the music scene. Prince said, if I said yes, wouldn't that be arrogant? But if I said no, wouldn't you know I'm lying?
You know I'm lying.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
you know, and it makes me think of the second thing is in this discussion with my friend.
right.
He was concerned about how high he set the standard. Okay? Well, guess what? We always set the standard high. We always do. Whatever we endeavoring, we set the standard high. Okay? And that's what scares the hell out of them.
Right. My parents always told me, reach for the galaxy, and if you fall, you'll land on a star.
How about that? How about that?
So
Yeah,
it's always just go reach as far as you can.
You know, well, you know, something else I want to get to here because we still got quite a bit to get to before you know, time runs out. You know, I got a thing from one of our personalities.
Which personality?
I'm not gonna call her name. All right, but the thing that they sent me on Facebook Messenger basically he was saying, you know, it was one of those things where here's a message from God, and you got to send it to 18 other people.
Oh,
and,
I hate them.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah, I do too. You know, because, you know, I don't think God's on Facebook and he gonna punish somebody for not participating in some mess. Yeah, somebody calling, bro. Yeah, you got it right. Okay. And another thing is what they put out there as how can I say, what your religious beliefs are. Okay. Well, let me tell you, I'm not an atheist. All right. But and I've mentioned this cat a couple of times. All right. You do know that when the Romans created Christianity, because it's a Roman creation,
right,
in 325 AD, which tells you how late in history it was, all right, there was an African leader named Arius, is known as Arius the Libyan, that strongly opposed the Jesus Messiah story as being a total Roman falsehood. You know, some of y'all ain't gonna like that. Arius was a leader and practitioner of the earlier African spiritual system, that of which Christianity is a distorted perversion of. And Roman Emperor Constantine banished Arius from all areas where Christianity was being practiced to prevent Arius's original teachings from competing with Christianity. Basically what Arius said is, yo, y'all know we're not actually supposed to believe this, right?
Right.
WHGE 95.3 FM, the Open Eye. Oh, that's
Yaga. Hey, Robin, I know they'll do that. They'll take your position from you and you know you're the best. You know what I'm saying? They do that to us. I mean, how can we respond to that kind of stuff? That's my solution. If you do this to me, I'm going to get your job. I'm going to get your credentials for the things for the racist act that you did doing. You know what I'm saying? Yo, we gotta be stronger and collaborate more together so we can know what's going on with each other. You know what I'm saying? And we come as a unit to the squad, to these people, to these jobs, to these businesses. You know what I'm saying? They see 30 people outside, lined up like Malcolm had them outside the police station. When they see that, it's unified. You know, and that's what we need. We need more of that. Because they always going to try to knock us down off the ship and don't even have us on the ship. If we are on the ship, we in chains. So, come on, man. We all got to stand up for the same cause.
Stand up. WHGE 95.3 FM, the Open Eye, with Patrice Gibbs.
Nsoromma in the building.
Bringing it to you, bringing it to you. Let me tell you something.
What, bro?
If you understand what's going on and didn't take the poison, you have survived the greatest psychological warfare in human history. Do you realize how much time, resources, money, and effort they put into this?
A lot.
They're trying to manipulate, brainwash, and force you. They have been trying to scare you, attempted to make you feel guilty. They're trying to bribe you with gifts. They try to confuse you and question your reality and also your sanity.
Yep.
They're trying to make you abandon your principles, your morals, and your values.
Wow.
They even managed to turn your loved ones and friends against you. Almost everyone fell for it. But not you. Yeah. You never gave up on yourself. You stood up for yourself against all odds. You rose like a phoenix in the night and entered into your full power. You are the best. Stay that way. And I'm going to tell you what motivated me to be that way. Because how could you is not how I want to be greeted by the ancestors. I don't want to be greeted by the ancestors and they ask me, you didn't keep up the fight?
Right.
You ain't got no scars from the fight?
Where your scars at?
How could you? Nah, that's not a question I'm going to face. You believe that? Yeah, that's word.
I mean, and they doing so many underhanded things right now in this government. Okay, I seen this the other day. You a veteran, right?
Yes, I am.
So if you was a veteran, you call the VF, you write VFW a letter, right, of the club or membership that you hold with the particular VFW, right? And the letter is saying why it isn't the VA more supportive in helping these veterans and not letting them just be in a position to want to commit suicide or want to, hurt themselves in a way. They made up a task force, right? With 2 police officers and a doctor, a psychiatrist.
Okay.
Right? And say you sent a letter to that VFW place, and it had any words, like you could have been saying, okay, what is the program that you have in position for people that's a veteran that may be suicidal, right? That was in the letter that you wrote. They say you use the word suicide as a veteran and come knock on your door.
Okay.
And check on your well-being because you said the word
suicide.
Right. And now that doctor that's with them, right, if you don't respond correctly, he can diagnose you right when you open your door and have you taken away.
Yeah, that's nuts.
That's nuts.
That's nuts.
And the agency was just made up out of the clear blue. The government said, oh, okay, we're going to start a new agency and we're going to call it Get the Veterans. This is the thing, this is how these government corporations are made without any public input. Now, how is that possible? How do they be able to create something and then apply it and put it upon you?
Yeah. Well, you know who was taking an example from that? What's his name? Eric Adams? I think that's his name.
Eric Adams, who's that?
I'm not sure if I got his name right, but somebody help me out on that. The mayor of New York,
the mayor
who has come up with a task force for civilians across the board.
What?
Yeah. All right. That if you're out there homeless, or you might be mentally ill because you're out there homeless. Okay. And these police come along and they diagnose you with some mental deficiency, and now they're going to lock you up and put you in a mental institution.
Right. That's another prison and another way of forced slavery
and violating your rights.
Right. Violating your rights. You got a right to be crazy.
Sure.
As long as you ain't hurting nobody.
Right. Or hurting yourself.
Right. Or hurting yourself. You can be crazy.
That's right. And let me tell you how mean people are to homeless people. All right? Now, across the country, north, south, east, and west.
Right.
All right? Last week was cold as hell.
Yes, it was.
Cold as hell, that don't fit. Okay? But it was
extra cold.
It was extra cold.
Extra cold.
It was below freezing.
It was 9 degrees.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right? Down south. Now, down in Louisiana, this homeless dude's outside the store.
Right.
One of the store clerks who has this hatred and racism up in her took a bucket of water and threw it on the man out in the ice cold. He wasn't in front of the store, he was near the store.
She should be locked up.
Yeah, well, she is. She's charged with assault, and well, she should be.
That was attempted murder.
Yeah, because you in below freezing weather.
That's not just the assault.
No,
that was attempted murder.
That's what I would look at it.
The man could have froze immediately.
Word, because he has nowhere to go and change clothes and get dried up. He's out in the cold, and you nasty hussy, you threw cold water on him. And need your ass whooped for that.
Hey, yo, you know what they doing in Jamaica to the Chinese, right? The Chinese come and buy their land and buy some of their stuff up and open up stores and stuff like that. And you're on our land and
he said, we
can't come in the store to buy something. Or they burnt all of it down.
Yes.
That's what they have to do. I mean, all over the world when it's being done. They'll do it to us. They have. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's what I mean. If we ain't standing up, they're going to keep doing it to us.
That's right.
I mean, that's just terrible, man.
That is.
I'm not saying we should be fighting each other.
Word.
I'm saying if you do that, it should get done to you.
Oh, man.
And that'll change.
Keep that sentiment, brother.
That's right. If you do that, you're going to get it done to you.
That's simple.
I don't care who it is.
I heard
The
that.
paperwork goes two ways. If you're a road cop and you're doing wrong things and you're breaking the law to apply the law, you're going to get it too.
That's right.
It's that simple, man.
Yeah, but
you got to be smarter, man.
We gotta be. WHGE 95.3 FM. Listen up.
Y'all got Yo, what's up? Hey, Jared, Robin, who else on here? Ty, Troy, hey, yo, Meese, what's good? Luther, hey, yo, Jared, yo, who else? Where our boy at? Tracy, yo, where Vaughn? Yo, Vaughn, where you at? I ain't been seeing you the last 2, 3, what's happening? Yo, hit us up. Yeah, man. We gotta stick together, come together, and be this army that they don't want. You know what I'm saying? Seriously.
All right.
Yeah, you know what's up.
WHGE 95.3
Hey, yo,
FM.
cut that music up a little bit more. Do that one. Hey, this Patrice Gibbs right
Yes, sir.
here. Yo, poke that a little bit. Let me hear that.
All right.
Yeah.
Porch lights.
Porch light. Hey, yo, you can go get that all streaming platforms. Mr. Gibbs.
All right. All right. You ready to come hard here?
Oh, you gonna go hard? Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta get my boots ready.
Yeah.
All right, I get my boots ready.
Boots ready, bro. Because the baby is gone.
Terrible.
Social media influencers and criminal justice advocates are pushing for charges against a white Ohio man who allegedly, I hate to say allegedly my ass.
Right. They always say allegedly when they white and did it when it's black.
You know?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Anytime you hear that.
Yep. He shot a 13-year-old boy multiple times and walked free, even though he was legally prohibited from carrying a gun.
Wow.
Reports show that Creed Butler, 36, was initially charged with murder for the October 12th killing of Wedgwood Apartments at the Wedgwood Apartments in Columbus, Ohio. But prosecutors dropped the charges days later, citing standard procedure. However, many social media are calling for Butler to be charged, with some launching social justice for Sensei Reed. That was the 13-year-old child that was murdered. This guy jumped out his truck, shot this child, 13-year-old child, 5 times, then jumped back in his truck and rode away. Now the cops went and picked him up about a week later and charged him with murder. And then inexplicably, they dropped the murder charges, and because he claimed self-defense. So this bastard was in fear of a 13-year-old child. Okay?
First of all, he was in his truck. He didn't have to stop. He could have just kept on going. He didn't have to jump out the truck to commit a crime. You know, see, that's the difference. They don't break it all the way down like that for white people. But if it was a black guy, it would have been broke all the way down to him driving up, getting out of the car. I mean, the whole act of it.
Right.
They never do the whole act with a white person.
Right.
Never.
There's no reason, for this guy to murder a 13-year-old child. Now, like I said, now they're rallying. To call the Franklin County Prosecutor's Office to pressure them to move on the case. All right.
They shouldn't even be have to move on the case because all the black people in the neighborhood went and burnt this house down. And
Hold up on it.
okay,
Hold up on it.
okay, I'm getting ready to get hot. I'm hot now, man.
I know.
Yo, that's crazy,
know.
man. That could be our kids.
Well, Atlanta Black Star, the online media, black media, contacted the prosecutor's office and was sent an October 27 statement initially issued after Franklin County Municipal Court Judge Mike McAllister accepted its motion filed on October 17th and dismissed the case.
See that now, all of them, that judge was somehow related to him. Or know him down the line, or drunk coffee with him. I mean,
and it didn't have to be any of that. It didn't have to be any of that. It's the empathy for white supremacists.
Wow.
All right.
Oh, okay. You went all the way over to the other side. Wow.
You know, the prosecutor's office said, however, that the case is still under review for possible presentation to a grand jury. And unfortunately, I cannot advise you when the case will be presented.
Wow. What about when some of their kids start being missing and start getting shot up like that?
Yeah.
Black people pulling up on their 14 and 13-year-old sons and daughters and letting off 5 and 6 shots into their head and bringing them back. I mean,
you know,
that's the kind of response that they need.
Right.
To see their kids on the street and laying on the street in blood, with their brains hanging out. You know, that's what the. I mean, that's crazy, man.
Well, Columbus Police Homicide Detective Keith O'Connor told the Columbus Dispatch that there has been a claim of self-defense by Butler. Okay, but they did not provide any details to the child's mother, to Sinzay Reed's mother.
Wow.
Sinzay Reed, affectionately known as Zay, according to his obituary, he loved listening to music and playing video games.
I mean, that's all the kids do. You know what I'm saying? Until they get a job.
13 years old. Let me tell you something. When I was 13 years old, I liked playing with toys.
Right.
I was a child at 13 years old. Yeah, I was coming into some level of maturity, but I was a child at 13 years old, and that's what this boy was. He was a 13-year-old child who liked listening to music and playing video games. It was a child.
TikTok and playing.
You know, and this white man, this white supremacist bastard, was in fear of his life. So they dropped the charges.
And you know when they do that, right? They get on people's jobs.
Oh,
They
yeah.
turn them into police officers.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
When
They financially support him.
yeah, that's crazy.
You know, he's going to pop up with a GoFundMe page when he is finally charged. Okay. Okay. So, like Nsoromma was saying earlier, he's not being charged. Well, let me tell you something. We need to adopt this philosophy right here. Remember, from after slavery to the 60s, okay, if a black person was charged with something and the punishment didn't come fast enough, a white mob would come burn down the jail and drag him out and lynch him, burn him, mutilate him, and cannibalize him. Now, I'm not for no cannibalizing anybody, okay? But maybe we need to think about how we react.
That's where we lack.
Mm-hmm.
That, what you just said.
Yeah.
They willing to cannibalize.
Yeah.
And we're
Well,
not.
I don't like the taste of white meat.
I mean,
You know,
we
I ain't
ain't
with
gotta
that.
eat it. We can feed it to Bible up.
You know, that's word.
But-
Find Mikey, he'll eat any
Yeah,
goddamn
Mikey.
thing. You know, the thing is this.
What?
They gauge our reaction whenever they murder one of ours. Don't forget, they're killing elderly people, they're killing our women, they're killing our men, and they're killing our children. And they had no intention of punishing this racist bastard for murdering that child. And they still don't. Okay? So sometimes we have to look at these things and think,
For what they are.
yeah, if Black Lives Matter, the consequences have to be on a level to discourage those that don't think Black Lives Matter.
So that sounds soft to me. Because if I gotta tell you that my life matters, I ain't responding for you to go, oh, I better leave him alone. You understand?
Right.
So if I ain't got you thinking I can be killed for messing with me, that's where I shouldn't have to tell you my life matters. It matters because you gonna be dead if you mess with me.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
But we don't
Yeah.
carry that philosophy. We
No.
get hit upside the head with a board, and we go, thank you for the hickey, sir.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not this year.
No.
That's not
No.
not this generation.
No. Those
You
days
know,
are gone.
Definitely. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I mean, responses has to be taken for when the incident happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Man, that's
You know,
crazy,
that's
man.
what I said, you know. Imagine what the government's reaction would be if a if a crowd, a mob of black people went down to that jail, burned it down, drilled his ass out, and meted out the punishment, that's right.
Civil justice.
Meted out the punishment that's needed.
And that's legal.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
Yeah. Now, I discussed this, right, and I hope you don't mind me calling your name, sister. I discussed this in a Facebook message with Sister Tracy. Okay? And I noticed something as I was typing this message. Certain words were flagged. Okay? Certain words were flagged.
Yeah.
White, that was flagged. And what was the other word? Child, that was flagged. I had to replace those words with boy and YT. Okay? Sister Tracy stated this morning, and pay attention here. Don't think we're not on the radar. Okay? Don't think we're not on the radar. We are. Okay? And we're on the radar because we're speaking out. And any of us that dare speak out are going to be on the radar. And I don't give a damn. My family been watched since the 1920s.
We've been on the radar. Yeah. We've been on the radar all our life.
All our life. You know?
Okay, and
yeah.
we learn to work with the radar, around the radar. And you know what I'm saying?
That's what
we are the kind of people that adapt, and they don't do that.
That's what
they don't have that.
That's what
my boys say they deficient because they don't have the melanin.
The melanin.
They handicap.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah. That they are.
I'm like, wow.
You know?
I never looked at it like
thing.
that. I never looked at it.
Here's the thing. They know it too. WHGE 95.3 FM.
Yo, Jakim, what's good? Hey, yo, your boy Pat is crazy. It's crazy. Hey, yo. Hey, you got something you want us to say? Hit us up. Let us know what you thinking, how you thinking, and what you want heard. You know what I'm saying?
WHGE 95.3 FM. I got something a little here from the Brooklyn Bomber. It's a brother that's one of my TikTok friends and
Brooklyn Bomber.
Yeah, the Brooklyn Bomber. Now, before I go into this, right? The guy that shot, what's her name? The Megan Thee Stallion.
Oh yeah,
he was convicted. Tory Lanez.
Yeah.
And I looked at the reaction from our people towards that. Okay. And one of the things that I say is, if he shot her, justice needs to be served. Justice needs to be served. And what I saw was a lot of black people really dogging her out. Here she was victimizing this situation. And a lot of black people were dogging her out. The misogyny and what have you. It's just nuts, okay?
But if she wasn't shot by him, his fingerprints wasn't on the magazine or the gun. The girl that she was with, fingerprints was on the gun and on the magazine.
Okay.
But I was like,
I don't know. I didn't investigate the case. I don't know. You've been following it, okay. But I don't want to go too deep into that. What I want to go deep into is this right here. Okay. All right. So the brother is charged. Accused.
Allegedly.
I didn't use that. Yeah. You understand? Okay. Like I said, I don't want to go too deep into whether he's innocent or not. The thing is this, is the reaction of people to him being found guilty. Okay. And possibly going to jail. Okay. All right? All right. And I want to say this to y'all. I don't know the brother. I don't give a damn about him. I'm not a fan of Megan Thee Stallion one way or the other. But I quote Brother Brooklyn Bomber here. Okay. I refuse to celebrate another black man getting locked up. Definitely. It's hypocritical for us black folks to scream how bad we want justice, but we're unwilling to ensure justice is given to our own. Right. And not the white people like that just shot that 13-year-old boy. Why you ain't standing up like that? Okay, keep going, bro. America is home to roughly 4% of the world's population, but it's home to nearly 25% of the world's prison population. Wow. Okay? 25%. Black men in particular account for approximately 6% of the American population. However, black men account for nearly 40% of the American prison population. That's crazy as hell.
But why you think that number is so high?
That's the easy answer. White supremacy. That's it. All right. Did you know that black people represent under 14% of the population, but we account for 53% of all the people in the country who are falsely convicted of serious crime and then freed after serving at least part of that sentence? There's your answer. In fact, according to the National Registry of Exonerations, black people are about 7.5 times more likely to be wrongly convicted of murder in the United States than whites are.
7.5 times, bro?
7.5 times.
Wow.
All right?
Wow.
Than whites are. And about 80% more likely to be innocent than others convicted. Now, I'm just trying to paint an accurate picture for you. According to InnocenceProject.org, nearly half of the people on death row are black. Remember, we're 14% of the population, black people overall. Black men are 6%. Nearly half the people on death row are black. And that bastard out in Ohio that murdered that boy will not be on death row. I guarantee you that damn near.
See?
That ain't no damn coincidence, y'all.
It's not.
Remember, I told you the 13th Amendment to the Constitution literally says that slavery no longer exists, except for punishment for a crime. So basically, you ninjas are free. But as soon as you mess up, clank, clank.
Clap, clap.
According to the United States Sentencing Commission, black male offenders on average receive sentences 20.4% longer than white males who commit the same damn crime. Some of y'all out here cheering when a black man get locked up. I'm not cheering. I'm not cheering. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. quoted a great writer by the name of Victor Hugo when he said, "If a soul is left in darkness, sins will be committed. The guilty one is not he who commits sins, but he who causes the darkness." White supremacy. What are you saying, Martin? White supremacy. Yes, black folks commit crimes, but never forget, these crimes are derivative crimes stemming from America's original sin, slavery, where we were robbed of our name, language, culture, God, and religion. And it's the way some of us act, we even was robbed of our goddamn mind. Ooh. Ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall certainly make you free. Now, I've said this before, and I probably lost some friends when I said it last time. Right. But like I said, you know me. I really don't give a damn. Because I'm much more interested in power than I am in popularity.
Right.
Yes, I mean black power. The power we need not only to survive, but to thrive. The power we need to battle the genocidal goals of white supremacy. I don't give a damn about forming some phony-ass one-sided alliance with people who only want to cry brotherhood when it's convenient for them. If alliances with others are not instrumental in the advancement and liberty of black people, miss me with that crap. You can go to hell. Black first.
And you know, man, when you was reading that letter, man, by the black bomber,
the Brooklyn bomber.
The Brooklyn bomber. I was really, how could I say that? I was really discouraged more than anything because I'm 50. You know what I'm saying? So kids that's 14, 13, like 18 and 12, you know, for them to hear that's like a dampener to that level that we want them to reach for. You see what I'm saying? That's like showing you that this system is designed to make you fail. Through all of these things that they got in position for you as that black kid. I was hearing and actually seeing the visual of all the things that you were saying that was depressing my fire to be that creative being. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Well, you know what? Here's the thing, and I understand what you're saying. All right, but the purpose of exposing white supremacy to our people is to light a fire under your ass and make you the warrior that we need to battle this crap.
Yeah.
That's the message behind that.
Yeah.
Oh, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
You
Throw
know,
all that stuff, old stuff that you got in the closet out and get some new stuff. You know what I'm saying? Start your new year fresh.
Start your new year fresh. All right? But don't come up to me with a bunch of resolutions and telling me it's going to be the new you when you're doing the same damn crap you was doing yesterday just because the day is a new year. Don't give me that mess.
And they only change for that one day, and then they go back the second, January 2nd, to the old record.
New Year's Eve, you got drunk, and New Year's Day, you sat around eating crap that swelled your belly up even more, ain't do one damn exercise except for walking to the toilet to throw up because you're overhung from drinking on some made-up goddamn holiday. Because the new year is not January the 1st. The new year comes when the
seasons begin to change.
When the seasons change.
And yo, do you see how broad this white supremacist is? Where they can manipulate the time and the date, and yo, they can manipulate in just about everything.
You know, because what we're celebrating is the way the calendar is the Gregorian calendar from Rome.
Okay.
Which only added a couple more months to support their paganism, you know, and what have you.
All of this was designed around paganism, like Christmas and all of that.
And all that,
oh, man.
you know. So it was only that, you know, we're still celebrating, you know, because we live in a European white supremacist dominated culture. All right, we gotta wake up from that. Yeah, Happy New Year. WHGE 95.3 FM. Patrice Gibbs.
Nsoromma.
Yes, D. I want to say thank you this year to Sherry. I want to say thank you,
Sherry.
Yes, D. To Tracy.
Tracy.
Brother Jardea.
Brother Vaughn.
You know, and the many others that have posted things that spurred me to think, right, and to bring what we bring to the air to educate our people.
That's right.
WHGE 95.3 FM. And as we always tell you, destiny determines who enters your life, but you decide who stays.
Right.
Therefore, value those who value you, and don't treat those as a priority
who treat you as an option.
WHGE 95.3 FM.
Happy New Year. Nsoromma in the building. WHGE. Yaga! Chop, 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 chop. Hey, yo, the boy be snapping. The boy be snapping. The boy be snapping, man. You hear me? Hey, yo, Sherry, what's good? Yo, he be snapping shit. Hey, yo.
Hey, what I always tell you, black first, global African supremacy. We can change this world. We have the power. They know it. We need to know it. Global African supremacy. Peace.
Yo, Nsoromma streaming all platforms, you dig? Go check that out. Mr. Gibbs also.
All right.
Hey, yo, it's your boy. Peace.